So in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can increase your webinar show up rates up to 70% and your conversion rates up to 15 to 20% easily with only using Facebook Messenger chatbot. So watch the video completely till the end because I'm gonna share my exact framework which I have been using for my clients since last 6 months and increase their revenue, and I'll share my exact mind map which you can download and implement on your business also. So let's begin this video without wasting much time. So the end goal of the video is I will share the framework with you which will help you to increase the webinar show up rates and eventually the webinar conversions rate. So here is what 95% of entrepreneurs are doing. They are only relying on the email marketing for building relationships, sending the webinar reminders, post and the post webinar follow-ups, which are very important for generating revenue for your business. And the result is they are not getting much show up rate on the webinar, and at the end of the webinar they are not getting much conversion because the show up rate is less. So the reason is the email open rates are nowadays are very low, like maximum is 20% to 25% are the average or the good email open rates, which are very less. Like out of 100 people, only 25 people are opening your emails. So this is very less. And when when it comes to CTR, when the open rates are less, so that's why the CTR is also very less. So that's why we need some channel whose open rate and CTR is relatively higher, and the channel is Messenger chatbot, Facebook Messenger chatbot, which is one of the best channel out there in the market, because the open rates are around 80% to 95%, which is insane, and average CTR is around 30 to 45% easily on every message. So here is a screenshot for the open rates of the webinar finder. So here is like 95% people have, and 61 people, like 52% is the CTR. So don't you think it's insane? So the solution of this problem is like to generate more revenue for the after the webinar. Webinar bot funnels is the only solution for the business. So let's begin the mind mapping of this, which depends on the 4 sequences. Like first is the invitation process, and the second is the registration process where we will be taking their registration, and the reminder sequence and the post sales sequence. So here are the some traffic sources which we commonly use to drive traffic on our chatbot landing pages sometime, because most of the time what 95% of people do, they drive traffic to the landing page on the registration page, where they will take the registration and send them to the confirmation page. So here we can on the confirmation page we can set a link which can redirect them to the messenger bot. This is one source, and another one is like YouTube ads. We can use Facebook ads, so emails and Instagram ads to drive traffic directly to the messenger bot. So here is one, and once they reach the messenger, this is the invitation message which they will be getting. So here is the invitation message. So it's begin like, because we are it should be very easy and easy to remember, easy to read, like because we are here in the conversational marketing. So it starts like awesome, your first name, the host will be your Chirag, and in this video and guide during the webinar, so what you will be discovering, you will only be telling about them, the date and the location of the webinar where it is taking place, and at the end, just to confirm your spot, just click the sign me up now button, which will help them to redirect to the registration process, which is this. So in this registration process, we will be taking multiple inputs from the user. Like we will take phone numbers, we will take emails of them, we will take OTN, which is one time notification, just to retarget them. Or so these are few inputs which we will be taking on the messenger bot, and this is one of the example of the how the registration flow looks like. Registration message, so it says like, cool, please confirm your email and or enter the new one, so which you want to use in the event. So here we are taking the email as an input, which we will be using for the email automation also. And so after taking the registration, after completing the registration, we will now move to the reminder sequence, which is one of the most important sequence in the webinar chatbot funnel, because here is the most important thing that we have here in this process. The actual magic happen because people will now read the reminder sequence of our webinar, of our upcoming webinar, and which will help us to increase the show up rate of the webinar. So these are some timings which I have used commonly in my webinar, in the webinar which I or for my clients which I use for them. So these are some timing, like I send them the first reminder exactly the 3 days before the webinar, and the second reminder exactly 24 hours before the webinar, and the third reminders will be sent on the before 2 hours of the starting of the webinar, and the second last will be sent on the 15 minutes before the webinar will go live, and the last will be sent on the live when the webinar go live. Will send the chatbot will automatically send the webinar reminder to them using on the messenger. So what this help is, they will know about the webinar and they will be in touch with us, so we can build more relationship. And it is always advisable. I have seen a great result, like the increase in the show up rate, because of the one strategy, which is like, in every step, in every reminder sequence, share some value, share some more, give them some more value. Like you can give them PDF, you can give them cheat sheets, you can give them your some testimonials, you can give them your live your case studies, which will help the user to get, you will be able to connect with the user, and user will be able to know more about you, which will help them to understand the importance of the webinar which you will be conducting. So this is very important, the webinar reminder sequence. And here is the twist, like now webinar is live, and just we are assuming like the webinar will go for 2 hours. So at the end of the 2 hour, it will automatically trigger the post webinar sequence, which is another sequence. Here we will make revenue for the business. So here is how we will make. So as the webinar get over, so the one message they will get on their messenger exactly after the webinar ends, and the offer will be given on the that message. So, and the second one is 2 hours after the webinar ends. And it's always advisable to use scarcity, because if we not give the scarcity, if we not keep the offer time bound, then very less people will buy instantly. So just to increase the sales instantly, we need to use scarcity. Like we have to give them the offer for like 24 hours. This offer is valid for 24 hours or the 48 hours. After that, the price will go right up. So this is very important. The scarcity is the most important tool in the marketing. Another message we will be sending after the 6 hours of the webinar, if they have not taken any action, if they have not purchased our offer. So if they are not taking any action, we can still ask them to book a consultation call, which will help us to know more about their needs. And in the consultation call, we can know each other, they can trust us, because we are giving them the 30 minutes or 1 hour free consultation call. This, because that means we are adding more value to their life. So this is how this whole funnel work, and this is the exact funnel which I use, and 20% conversion I usually drive from this funnel. And always in the end, if they are not taking any action, always ask the user to unsubscribe from the bot, because it's very important to keep our list clean, because we don't want the demo subscribers who are just consuming information, because messenger is not like the platform like the email that we can have unlimited number of emails. Just so keep your list clean, and keep the list of the action taker only. So let's do some calculation. So I am assuming here like the offer value is $9.99. I will use two use case scenario, like we are using the registration page, and the another one we are using the webinar chatbot funnel. So I am taking like 500 registration for both use case, and the show up rate is, here in this normal webinar funnel we are only using email marketing, and in the webinar we are using email marketing plus the chatbot marketing, the messenger marketing. So the 500 registrations have been made by the users, and only the 40% is the show up rate. That means the 200 participants has been there in the webinar, they are live on the webinar, and the conversion rate I am assuming is 10%. So at the end of the webinar, we are able to make like 20 conversions, which is good. And the revenue is like $20,000 at the end of the webinar. So let's move to the another use case, and my favorite, the chatbot funnel. Like we got 500 registration on using the chatbot funnel, and the show up rate is around 70%. So the webinar participants will be 350 people will be joining the webinar, and I am assuming the same conversion rate, although it's more than that. So the conversion rate I am assuming is only 10%, and the conversion at the end of the webinar will be the 35 conversions. So you can check on the revenue, how the revenue is increasing like two folds, like it's like the 2x, we have just 2x the revenue, made the revenue, and just with the help of webinar chatbot, which is like insane, like $15,000 you are losing if you're not using webinar chatbot. So this is the power of chatbot, which only 5% of entrepreneurs are using. So webinar chatbot funnel is the blue ocean for your business. It can be a blue ocean if you utilize it properly, and rest the normal webinar funnel are like, most of the 95% people are still using this webinar funnel, and they are competing with each other and still striving to get more conversions for the business. So thank you for watching this video till the end, and now only thing is to implement on your business. You can download my exact framework, and the link is in the description. So go ahead and download it and implement in it for your next webinar, and increase your show up rates and your conversion rates, and make more revenue out of this framework. And do let me know in the comments the problems which you are facing in your webinars, so I'll also cover that up in my upcoming videos. So thank you so much again for watching the video, and do like the video and share it with your friends, and do subscribe to my channel, and also click to the bell button so you don't miss any video related to the webinar funnels or webinar or the webinar marketing.